So the third transformation, what we have to take is W equal to Z plus 1 by Z. Tell me what is the procedure, what we need to do first.
Substitute Z.
Yeah, our intention is we need to express it in the form U plus IV. Okay, for that we have to substitute. Just 1 second, don't write. So we have to substitute. Usually what we have substituted, Z is X plus IY. Suppose if I substitute like this, so here there are 2Z. No problem with this Z substitution, but what happens if I take 1 upon X plus IY? Because ultimately I want U plus IV, correct? I want U plus IV. Is it easy to get U plus IV if I substitute here Z as X plus IY? It will be a complex number in the denominator. What has to be done then? Can I equate real and imaginary part easily if I have a complex number in the denominator? Now do answer, otherwise it is difficult. You should have a reason, no, why I shouldn't take this, because already the notes are being sent. Okay, if I take a Cartesian form, problem is with this Z. If you substitute, you need to rationalize and all. Rationalization is not a big issue, but ultimately we have to end up with curves. So curves should be simple one. They should not be complicated. Isn't it? Agree with that? So if Cartesian form is difficult, we have to take the help of what?
Polar.
We have
Polar form.
Polar form. What is a polar form? Z equal to?
R into E raised to I
so
theta.
instead of this, we'll take it as R into E raised to I theta. Okay. So that getting U plus IV will be easy. Okay. Now what is Z? Z is R E raised to I theta plus 1 by Z, means 1 upon R E raised to I theta. Correct? Now ultimately we want to express it as U plus IV form. So there is no problem. This is okay. This imaginary number e raised to I theta, this we need to simplify. This is R e raised to I theta. How can I write this 1 upon e raised to I theta so that I can apply some formula, some expression?
E raised to minus I theta.
Yeah, take it in the numerator, it carries a negative power. Okay. So this is 1 by R. Tell me what is e raised to I theta?
Cos theta plus I sin theta.
Yeah, cos theta plus I sin theta plus 1 by, sorry, this is not 1 by R. Sorry, by mistake I have written. It is R only. Next, plus 1 by R. Then what is e raised to minus I theta? So you will get similar thing.
Cos theta
Minus I sin. So in between there is a minus. Because now what happens here, if you replace theta by minus theta, cos of minus theta is plus cos theta, sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. That's why that minus will come here. It will not come here. Okay. This is cos theta minus I sine theta. Can you separate real and imaginary? Just tell me the terms containing, not containing I and containing I. So not containing I means what they are. Isn't it R into cos theta? Correct? Am I right? Not containing. R into cos theta. Any other term? Not containing I. 1 by R cos theta, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So in this R cos theta and 1 by R cos theta, what can be taken common?
Cos theta.
Cos theta. So it becomes R plus 1 by R into cos theta. Similarly, if I, what is the term containing I is R sin theta plus 1 by R into minus sin theta. So what is common? No doubt I we have taken out. What else is common? Even sin theta is common. Correct. What will get from here? You'll get a R. From this term, you'll get a minus 1 by R. Tell me, is it in the form? Complex number, complex function form? Yes. This is in the form U plus IV. Okay. Now, what is U? u equal to r plus 1 by r into cos theta, and v is r minus 1 by r into sin theta. Okay, now here easily we can do the thing of separation, but here we'll apply one concept that will make it simple. Directly you can go for the equation format. Okay, so here I'll just call this as set of equation 1. Together I'll call it as set of equation 1. Now what we'll do, here we'll try to eliminate theta. Okay, ultimately we have to eliminate theta. For that, now theta is attached to cos and sin, isn't it? So what is the relation we have? How can we eliminate it?
Sin square theta plus cos square theta
Yeah,
is equal
cos
to 1.
square. That is cos square plus sin square is 1. So what I'll do, if I keep this r here, no, if I apply the concept, even we cannot take common. This is not common that time. So ultimately, I want that cos theta should remain here. Similarly, this side sin theta should remain, so that if I square and add it, it becomes 1. So theta will be eliminated. For that, if I'm writing only cos theta, that means this bracket has to be transferred. Where it will be? It comes in the denominator. So this is my one relation, you can say. Similarly, what I'll get if I'm putting only sin theta on RHS, isn't it? This term will come here. What it is? V upon R minus 1 by R. So ultimately what I explained just now, let us apply it. For this set of relation, let us apply a concept of squaring and adding. LHS and RHS separately, you square it first and then you add it. So if I square this LHS part, it is u upon r plus 1 by r the whole square. And if I square the LHS part of this, v upon r minus 1 by r the whole square. After squaring, we need to add it. Okay, this is for the LHS part. Similarly, RHS part, first square it, it becomes cos square. RHS part of second expression is sin square, and what we are doing ultimately is we are adding it. Okay, so this is equal to, okay, this can be written in a simple format as, if I take this, power is for both, isn't it? So u square upon r plus 1 by r the whole square. Here v square upon r minus 1 by r the whole square is equal to, tell me what is cos square plus sin square? Is 1. This is as a equation 2. See how we used to do it, no? In the previous two cases, we wanted x in terms of uv. So here ultimately r in terms of uv, not containing theta. One intention done. Can you tell what is the other thing? How we want another expression? We want now, we want a theta in terms of uv, not containing
R.
r. Okay, so to achieve that, again see this equation, same thing. Now here I don't want r, I want r to be eliminated. See it, if you see this bracket, this is in the form a plus b. This bracket is same quantity, but here it is a minus b, correct? Now anybody remembers what is a plus b the whole square plus a minus b the whole square? Directly. Or else you expand and you can simplify and tell. See, if you expand it, a square plus b square plus 2ab, a square plus b square minus 2ab. Ultimately, what
2a square plus b square.
2 times a square plus b square remains. Okay. But if a square b square remaining, that means r and 1 by r remains. I don't want it. What can I do? Another part. What can I do? Think about it. It is lying over here only. Just instead of adding, suppose if I subtract, what happens? If I subtract a plus b the whole
4a.
square, what remains is 4ab. This you have used is even in school so many times. Okay, let it be. So just if you are not clear, no, just expand it. A square b square term will be cancelled. Here it is 2ab. This is minus of minus 2ab. Will ultimately get it as 4ab. Why I'm telling AB now here is 4. What is my A here? If I apply it, my A is
R.
R
R
and
plus
B is 1 by R. So what happens? Isn't it R will be cancelled? R will be eliminated. Okay. So what is the concept to be applied? I have a A plus B. I have a A minus B. To achieve this, what has to be done with that? We need to subtract them. Isn't it? Subtract them. For that, I'll take this equation 1, I'll rewrite. Because if I keep sine and cos here only, no, I cannot eliminate R there. Correct. So where this cos and sine to be sent from in equation 1? Where it is to be sent? Obviously, LHS. Okay. So we'll rewrite equation 1. See, you need to think why this step is applied. Unless know that, it is very difficult. First thing what we did, we kept cos and theta terms here. We sent the R terms so that ultimately theta is eliminated. Now the reverse part. We'll just take cos theta term here so that ultimately you will get with A plus B and A minus B. If you just square and subtract, ultimately R will be eliminated. So how to write it? Tell me what you'll get. U divided by cos theta, isn't it? What I said, keep only R terms. So I'm shifting cos. Similarly, what happens to second expression here? I want R only here. So I will send my sign this side where it comes in the denominator. Tell me what is the step to be applied? We need to square it and subtract. Yeah, let us do that. So LHS part, U divided by cos theta, first square it. Similarly, B divided by sin theta, square it. So for these two LHS parts, no, we need to subtract it. So there will be a minus. Similar way, R plus 1 by R the whole square. And here R minus 1 by R the whole square, we need to subtract it. If you want now, you can write the simplification here. It is only 4AB remaining. Else you expand it. Your terms will be cancelled there. That is R square, 1 by R square and all will be cancelled. Ultimately, I'm writing like this, 4AB. Because I'm using that same relation. Okay, so now here this side it is 4 is remaining. Now here if you see this equation 2, it is looking very simple. This can be compared with some standard equation, correct? But do you have any relation where that is equal to 4 is there? Any standard equation? Maybe you can refer your conic section, parabola, hyperbola, ellipse. Do you have a 4 anywhere? Except in parabola 4ay, 4ax, we have it. Okay. But here we have it in a square format. What do you have other than 4 on RHS? You compare with ellipse or hyperbola. It is it not you have it as 1? Okay. So I don't want this 4 should be here. So what has to be done? I want it to be 1.
Divide.
Let us divide by 4. Okay, so here this is like u square. If I divide by 4, it becomes 4 cos square theta. Am I correct? This expression has to be divided by 4. It becomes 4 cos square theta. I want it as whole square. So what I should write here? Is it 2 cos theta? The whole square balances?
yes.
Obviously, yes. Similarly, this is v square upon, if I divide it by 4, again it becomes 2 sine theta the whole square. Okay, so it is 2 sine theta the whole square is equal to 4 divided by 4, which is 1. Divided by 1. So let me call this as equation 3 now. Okay, just see equation 2 and 3 are such that they are in terms of r and theta only, not containing the other variable. Now what after this relation we used to take the lines parallel to coordinate axis. Do you remember? The lines parallel to coordinate axis we used to take, but here we cannot take it as we don't have x and y expression, we have it as r and theta. I cannot directly say that r is constant. Okay, how we used to take x equal to c1, y equal to c2. We cannot take it direct. We need to solve it first. Okay, so for that, I'll just show you the solution part. See, is this part clear? First part, this carries the half of the marks, maybe 3 to 4 marks. Is this part clear? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we have to take some image in Z plane, some curves in Z plane, and we need to see the image in the W plane. That is our intention. To get that, we should get the relation between R and theta. For that, see, if I write Z equal to R e raised to I theta, can you tell me what is R representing?
Z into e raised to minus I.
No, not that. This is a polar form. For a complex number, there are two properties. One is modulus, another one is amplitude. Am I correct? For any complex number. So in this complex number, what is R representing? Is it a modulus or an amplitude?
Ma'am, modulus.
It represents a modulus. Okay. Similarly, what theta represents? Theta represents the amplitude of Z. This is modulus of Z. Okay. So modulus of Z means it is like this, mod Z. Okay. So R is equal to mod Z, and you can say theta is equal to amplitude of Z. Amplitude of Z. Now, if I keep like this, I cannot get a correct relation. What ultimately we'll do is, we'll try to express this polar coordinates R and theta in terms of Cartesian coordinates x and y. Okay. Now, we know that if suppose z is equal to x plus iy, okay, then modulus of z is r. What is modulus of x plus iy? In place of z, if I write x plus iy, no, it is like modulus of x plus iy we need to find. Can anybody tell me what is this? Modulus of a complex number.
Root of x square plus y square.
Yeah, root of real part the whole square plus imaginary part the whole square equal to r. If I keep like this, I'll not get any curve. What has to be done for this?
I'm
Squaring.
squaring both.
Square it. R, x square plus y square equal to r square. Can anybody tell me what is this?
Circle.
It is a circle. What are the properties?
Center at origin.
And radius is r. Radius is r. Now, for a circle, is radius is constant or a variable quantity for any particular circle you take?
Ma'am, constant.
It is always constant. Okay. Now you may say one circle is smaller, one may be bigger. How can you say the radius is constant? See, for particular this circle, if I take, radius is same. It cannot vary. For this circle, if I take, radius is constant. So actually, when you define a circle, no, in definition also with constant radius, what is being given. So always, no, radius is constant. So that means ultimately, can I write radius, which is r, it is equal to some c1. Can I write like this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because I want to get the image in actually in Z plane first. Okay. So actually, if I'm taking r equal to c1 means what I'm taking in Z plane. If I'm taking r equal to c1, what I'm taking?
Line.
A line? Is it a line parallel to theta axis? No, that is wrong. Because no, r actually x and y coordinates are different and r and theta coordinates are different there. Okay. So actually understand here, If I'm taking r equal to c1 means I'm taking a circle only. From which relation I'm getting? Isn't it from this expression only? So if I'm taking r equal to c1 means I'm taking a circle in the z plane with center at origin and radius r. Okay, remember this, not a line parallel. Okay, then your x and y, if they are same with r and theta, no use to take one more set of polar coordinates. Think about it. Okay, let me go to the next part. Now theta is amplitude of z. So amplitude of z. Can anybody remembers what is amplitude of x plus iy? If you find amplitude of x plus iy, you have it, no? X equal to r cos theta, y equal to r sin theta. From this, no, actually we'll get r equal to root of x square plus y square and theta equal to? Please tell me. Theta equal to? Tan inverse of?
Tan inverse of
Y by x. Very good. This has to be remembered. This is a relation between, I think in the first class only we have learned in complex module 1. Okay. Yeah. So here this is like theta is equal to amplitude of this. Amplitude is given by tan inverse of y by x. Else here if I'm taking it, that means I take now tan here. I'll shift it. So it becomes tan theta. I again shift a x here. Where it comes? Numerator, isn't it? Is equal to 1. Okay. Tell me what is this representing? Y equal to tan theta into x.
Mom, straight line. Mx.
It's a straight line. What is the property? Where it passes?
Passing through origin.
Origin. Okay, because you don't have a C there. Else one more thing to confirm is, what are the coordinates of origin? 0, 0, correct? Substitute x as 0 and y as 0. Isn't it you will get 0 equal to 0? That means it is satisfied. If any curve passing through a particular point, yes or no, if you want to confirm, substitute the coordinates. This is what the geometry says. Okay. Now, here. Now, what is theta representing? Isn't it is in the form y equal to mx or m equal to tan theta? Tell me, is it for a particular line, is theta going to vary or is it the same?
Mom, same.
It is same, means it becomes a constant. So that means here we'll get the intent, we'll get the conclusion that theta is equal to constant. I'll take it as C2. So if I'm taking theta equal to C2 in Z plane, what I'm taking actually? What I'm taking?
Line.
It's a line passing through the origin, not parallel to anything. Correct? So let us take these two and see ultimately what we are going to get in W plane. This is important part because next time what I'll take the two cases, they are very simple because already we are kept it in a standard format only. So what is the first case? We have to take R equal to C1. Remember R equal to C1 means we are taking a line, sorry, we are taking a circle with center at origin and radius R. Where can I substitute R equal to C1? Very simple way. Obviously in
Second equation.
2. Equation 2. So if I substitute here, this becomes C1. This is 1 by C1. This is C1 and C1. Can you tell me this is representing what? U square upon. If C1 is constant, isn't it denominator quantity will be constant? It is in which format? U square
Ellipse.
by A square plus V square by B square equal to 1. What is this representing?
Ellipse.
It is an ellipse. Okay, for ellipse, the focus points we need to find, which are plus or minus root of, if plus is there, what I have told, it will be A square minus B square, comma 0 format. Okay, that is what the intent. So if you are taking a circle in, you are taking a circle in Z plane, you are getting an ellipse in which plane? W plane. Okay, let us take. Okay, so this, So that equation 2 becomes u square upon c1 plus 1 by c1 the whole square plus v square upon c1 minus 1 by c1 the whole square is equal to 1. Okay, so denominator everything is constant. We'll just take it in the form as a square format. Okay, because like constant square, this is equal to 1. So the same thing, u square by a square plus b square by b square equal to 1. This represents a ellipse. If plus is there, ellipse. Ellipse in which plane? It's the relation between u and v means it is happening in w plane. Okay, so here we'll find the focus points. So the coordinates or focus points are plus or minus root of a square minus b square comma 0. How to remember? If plus is there, there is a minus. Huh? Okay. Now, this is plus or minus. Suppose, what is my a? My a is like c1 plus 1 by c1. Square it. Minus c1 minus 1 by c1 the whole square is my b square. Can anybody tell me directly what I'll get? If you have understood one of the concept what I explained, you can tell me very easily.
4ab.
It is 4. Okay, root of 4. Why no? This isn't it? This is a form r plus 1 by r minus 1 by r the whole square. And what we are doing? Minus. Correct? So if you want, no, you write like this. 4c1 into 1 by c1. 4ab remains no, comma 0. So this will be cancelled. What is root of 4? Plus or minus 2. So when you take a circle in Z plane, it is mapped onto an ellipse. This is first case. Tell me what is the second case we have to take? Theta equal to C2. Means what we are taking? We are taking a line passing through the origin in Z plane. Where can we substitute this very easily? Theta equal to C2.
Equation 1.
Equation 3. Okay, so isn't it, it is again in the form C2 constant. U square by again a square minus v square by b square equal to 1. What is that representing? Minus means hyperbola. So it is u square upon 2 cos C2 the whole square minus v square upon 2 sin C2 the whole square equal to 1. Same thing we can write like u square upon some, I'll not use the same a, I'll use some capital, upon v square upon b square equal to 1. It represents a hyperbola. So for hyperbola also we have some focus points. So whose coordinates are given by, see, it is just the same. What is the change? If there is a minus, take it as plus. Don't go into detail of all that. Huh? Okay, so what is this? Root of. But what is my a here? Capital A. What I have to take? A square plus b square. You simplify and tell me what you'll get. See, what is my a square? A square is 4 cos square C2 plus 4 sin square C2. What remains? Take 4 common, cos square C2 plus sin square C2 is how much?
1, ma'am.
1. So it is again root of 4 comma 0 or plus or minus 2 comma 0, isn't it? So the focus points are same. For what? Ellipse and hyperbola. Okay, and this is what we are getting. But we are getting different curves here. Where? In W plane. So let us draw the region here. So the region is taken like this. So what we are taking first case, this is my Z plane. This is my Z plane. What are the axes here? X and Y axis. Okay, now I'll take a W plane. This is my W plane. What are the axes?
U and V.
U and V. Okay, so first thing we have taken R equal to C1 means we are taking a circle here. We are taking a circle in Z plane whose equation is like x square plus y square equal to r square. Center at origin and radius is r for this. So if you take a circle here, under the transformation z plus 1 by z, what you are getting an ellipse. Okay. So let me take here the points. Where is plus 2 comma 0 lies? 2 points are there, no?
X-axis.
It is on positive u axis. Here you have to take 2 comma 0. Where is minus 2 comma 0?
Negative axis.
Negative u axis. So these are the focus points. With this to be the focus points, I should draw ellipse. So whether ellipse passes through this point or it is outside or inside. Ellipse is like a closed curve. Very important. So ellipse is here. This is to be the focus point. Don't allow the ellipse to pass through that. Actually you will get like this. It is just like you can say two parabolas, if they combine, what closed curve you will get, it is ellipse. This is my first case ellipse. You know the equation. Okay. Similarly, with the same focus point, we should draw the hyperbola. Hyperbola is an open curve or a closed curve?
One curve.
Closed, it's a open curve, sorry. So if two parabolas join together, you will get a closed curve, which is an ellipse, and hyperbola can be remembered like this. Even hyperbola don't pass through this point. Keeping this as focus point, you have to draw the hyperbola. So this together, it is hyperbola. Hope the part is clear. This case is a little different. Usually they want some little typical type, they will ask this third type. So only for the third type, what we have taken? Z equal to the polar form. Do remember. Yeah, I explained it properly, I guess. So go through the notes.
Theta.
Huh? Yeah. Sorry.
You didn't take theta.
Yeah. Sorry. So first, okay, one thing we have taken a circle. Okay, in Z plane, we are getting a ellipse. How we got the hyperbola? Without anything? No. What we have to take? Theta equal to C2 means we are taking a line passing through the origin in Z plane. What is the equation? Y equal to tan theta into X. Am I right? If you take this, actually then only you'll get this hyperbola. Okay. Really sorry for that. Okay. This is about the conformal transformation is done. So among this, they may ask one question or one is compulsory. They may even ask two questions in this. Okay, now let me start with the next concept of this part. It is called as bilinear transformation. From this, in one model question paper, there are two questions, and in one more, it is one question they've asked. So they may ask one or two again from this. Compulsory. Okay. Now here, this is little reverse part of what we have learned the conformal. In conformal, what you are knowing? So here we have a Z plane, we have a Z plane, we have a W plane. So we were knowing the transformation. We know what to take in Z plane. We were knowing. We were interested in getting the image. Am I right? If I want to just generalize it, this is what the situation for conformal mapping. In bilinear transformation, it is little reverse. Reverse in the sense, see, you were knowing about the function. It was e raised to z, z square and z plus 1 by z. Now here we know the thing that we have a z plane, we have a w plane. We know some 3 points here or 3 curves here. For this 3 curves, we know the corresponding image in w plane. Means we know what to be taken here in z plane, what to be taken in w plane. This is fixed. What is not known is f of z. Okay. Now this f of z may be anything. Among that, if you take one case, if you take a case az plus b divided by cz plus d such that ad minus bc is not equal to 0, such type of transformation is called as bilinear transformation. So you know some points in Z plane, you know the corresponding image in W plane, but you don't know what is actually the transformation is. So finding the transformation with the concept that if it is AZ plus B upon CZ plus D, where AD minus C, this AD minus BC, if you take, if it is not equal to 0, that is a one of the particular case called as bilinear transformation. Understood? Now ABCD may be real number or complex number. No problems. Usually we take it as complex number because complex, if you take, it includes even the real number. Is the definition clear? There is one more name for this, which is Mobius transformation. Two dots are there on the O. Okay, Mobius transformation. Nowhere in the question paper they have used till now this wordings, but you should be aware. Now, here for this transformation, there are some points which are called as invariant points. Invariant points. What is the meaning invariant? Invariant. Variant means what?
Changing.
Changes. Invariant means, isn't it opposite of that? Not changing. Correct. So even the meaning, the definition also same. The point which is not changing. Suppose in the Z plane, if I take a point A, if its image is also A, then that point is called as invariant point. Got idea? Huh? So if a point is mapped onto itself in W plane, then it is called as an invariant point. Now, if you want to find an invariant point, you will be having this bilinear transformation. No, you should just put W equal to Z. Suppose if I put in place of Z, W, if I put it as Z, isn't it? It's going to be an expression in terms of Z. Think about it. Huh? So I'll get like this: A Z equal to AZ plus B upon CZ plus D. Isn't it? This is some equation. Even if you simplify, which type of equation you will get here? It's a quadratic equation. Okay. So quadratic means how many values you will get? See, cross multiply, bring all the terms on one side, you will get a quadratic equation. Yeah, there are two values. So if you just simplify and find those values, no, they are called as invariant points. So usual question will be, they will give some 3 points in Z plane, 3 points in W plane. They'll ask you to find the bilinear transformation and also the invariant point. So major thing is finding bilinear. So you have to find this entire thing, and later on you should just replace your W by Z and get a quadratic equation, solve it. What values of Z you get, they are the invariant points. Is the procedure clear? Or is the part definitions are clear to you? Now, to find bilinear, we'll apply one concept which is called as cross ratio. This is called as cross ratio. Writing this cross ratio is very simple. All of you just concentrate here. See the 3 points in Z plane given, we'll name it as Z1, Z2 and Z3. Okay. They'll give some points. They will give some values. Take them as Z1, Z2, Z3. Similarly, they'll give the image in W plane. When the question is asked or BLT, they'll give 3 points in Z plane, 3 points in W plane. The 3 points in W plane, how can we call it? Obviously, W1, W2, W3. Are you getting it? Okay. Now you take one more point. One more point you take it as in the first place, which is Z. What I have to take corresponding to this? Here, I should have 4 points.
W.
W, obviously. For Z1, W1, Z2, W2 means obviously for Z, I have to take a W. Writing cross ratio is very simple. First, consider the first two. Take these two and take their difference. So it is like Z minus Z1. Then leave the next one. This difference also is there, leave it. Okay, okay, we have to take like alternate, you can say. First this minus this, next leave this, then take this minus this. What will get? Z2 minus Z3. Okay, now divided by what you should take, what differences you have left you should take. So, okay, we have taken Z and Z1, Z2 and Z3, no? So now you don't start from here, you start from here. Isn't it Z1 and Z2 not taken? Take in the denominator. Z2, Z3 is taken. Now take Z3 and Z. What will get? Z3 minus Z. In the beginning, you may not understand, but try to follow. One logic is there over here. Similarly, this we have to write equal to. Same thing we have to apply here. Can anybody tell me how it should be taken? Start from the first point. What
W
I
minus W1.
W minus W1. Leave the next. Take the next to that.
W2 minus W3.
Very good. Divided by what you left now. This is done. So
W1 minus W2.
W2 into W3 minus
W3
W1.
minus W.
It should go in order. Huh? Don't change the order. It should be like this. Cyclical order. This is called as cross ratio. This is helpful while finding the bilinear transformation. Else, one more method is also there. I'll teach you the example related to both the methods. When with what you are comfortable, you can choose that. Your choice. Okay. So this is about the bilinear transformation. I'll take one example and try to complete. And just write the question. Find the bilinear transformation. Okay, else no, I'll better take it tomorrow itself.